What kind of woman risks everything for 6 children who are not even her own? That question hung in the hot Wyoming air as Bella Thorne stood alone in the doorway of Beckford's tiny schoolhouse. The midnight chill pressed against her, but she barely felt it. Her tired eyes stayed fixed on the small girl clutching a rag doll to her chest. The child's dress was torn, her cheeks streaked with dirt. Her grief too heavy for her young shoulders, Bella knelt and opened her arms. "Come in, sweetheart." "You're safe now." Emma, the newest orphan brought to her that night, stepped inside slowly. She joined the 5 children, already sleeping on blankets Bella had stitched from old quilts and flour sacks. 6 little bodies scattered across her modest living quarters. 6 hearts shattered by the typhoid fever that had ripped through Beckford in the past month. Bella sank into her rocking chair, exhaustion rolling through her 26-year-old bones. She had not slept more than a few hours in days, surviving on tea and stubborn determination. But she didn't regret a second of it. Those children were all she had left of the families who once filled her classroom with laughter and chatter, and now the town wanted to take even them from her. Mayor Wilcott's words from that morning echoed in her mind. "Miss Thorne, your duty is to teach, not harbor strays. The orphan train arrives tomorrow. They will be collected and sent east. You will comply or you will lose your position." Bella remembered gripping the front of her dress, trying to keep her anger steady. They just lost their parents. They need time. They need each other. "The council has spoken," Wilcott had replied, turning away with a dismissive wave. Now, in the dim glow of her oil lamp, Bella looked at the children spread across the floor. Little Mary with copper hair spilling onto a pillow. The Donovan brothers curled tightly together, Sarah asleep with her doll pressed under her chin, Jacob with a book still open beside him. Emma clinging to the rag doll she had brought from wherever she came. The orphan train would arrive by afternoon. Bella had less than a day to save them. She whispered a quiet prayer and forced herself to her feet. Sleep would not come tonight, not while time slipped through her fingers. By dawn, she had written letters to every household in Beckford. She listed possible jobs for older boys. She listed costs. She calculated meals, clothing, supplies. She even asked for small donations, though she knew people were struggling. When the children woke, she made flapjacks, pretending everything was normal. "Miss Thorne?" Jacob asked, eyes bright with hope. "Did you make molasses flapjacks?" "I sure did," she said, forcing a smile. "Special for today." They ate quietly. Fear dulled their usual morning excitement. Bella waited until plates were clean before speaking. "There might be families who can help us keep you all here," she said gently. "But we need to ask them today. And you must all stay close to me." "I don't want to leave," Mary whispered. "You're not alone," Bella told her. "We will try everything we can." By mid-morning, they walked down the dusty main street. Bella held Emma's hand while the older children walked in a tight line behind her. Heat shimmered on the road. A few shopkeepers paused to watch them. Some looked sympathetic. Others looked away. One by one, every door closed. Dr. Hale shook his head sadly. Mrs. Turner from the dress shop offered a tin of biscuits, but no room. Even Pastor Green said he would pray. But prayer wouldn't change the council's order. Bella's heart sank a little more with each refusal. By noon, her throat felt raw from explaining and pleading. The children wilted in the sun. Their shoes kicked the dust with slow, tired steps. The general store was her last hope. They entered quietly. Mr. Fitzpatrick glanced up from his counter, his voice soft with worry. "Miss Thorne, I heard." "Truly, I'm sorry." "Please," Bella said, clasping her hands. "We don't need money, only support. If the council knew the town stood behind us." He shook his head before she could finish. "My wife and I can barely manage our own expenses, and crossing the council." He sighed. "I'm sorry, Bella." Quote, "The bell jingled as the door opened. A tall man stepped inside, carrying a crate on one shoulder like it weighed no more than a loaf of bread. His hat was dusty, his shirt sun-faded, his shoulders broad, his steps steady. Mr. Fitzpatrick brightened. "Mr. Calloway, your supplies are ready." Calloway. Bella recognized the name. Owner of the Diamond Tea Ranch. New in town. Quiet. Kept to himself. The man lowered the crate, then turned toward Bella and the children. His blue eyes were striking beneath the brim of his hat. "Afternoon," he said politely. "This is Miss Bella Thorne, our schoolteacher," Fitzpatrick explained. "And these are the orphans from the fever outbreak." The man's gaze softened. "I'm Tucker Calloway," he said, offering his hand. Bella shook it, noticing the rough calluses and the gentle grip. "Jacob Hollister, sir. I'm 7, Jacob blurted, stepping forward. Bella blinked at him. "Jacob." "The mayor's sending us away on a train," Jacob continued, voice trembling. "And Miss Thorne is trying to stop him." Tucker straightened, his expression darkening. "Is that so?" Bella explained everything. The children, the council, her dismissal threat, the train arriving in a few hours. Tucker listened without interrupting, his jaw tight. When she finished, he crouched to meet the children's eyes one by one. "What are your names?" he asked gently. They each answered, voices small but trusting. When he stood, something in his posture had changed. "Miss Thorne," Tucker said quietly, "I'd like to hear more about this. Would you and the children join me for lunch?" Bella hesitated. She barely knew the man, but his steady gaze held no danger, only concern. She nodded. "Thank you, Mr. Calloway. We'd be grateful." And with that simple decision, Bella's life and the children's futures began to shift in a direction she never could have imagined. What kind of stranger steps in when the whole town steps away? That question pressed at Bella as she walked with the children beside Tucker Calloway toward the hotel restaurant. The building was old but tidy, the kind of place traveling salesmen and mine foremen used for business meetings. Today it held something far more important. A chance. A small one, but still a chance. The children settled into a long wooden booth, their hands folded, eyes wide, as if afraid someone might chase them out. Tucker didn't sit across from them like an outsider. He slid in beside Jacob and handed Emma a clean napkin when she dropped hers. "Order anything you like," he told the children. "Today we eat well." Emma whispered, "Even pie?" He smiled, "Especially pie." When the meals arrived, Bella watched their faces transform. Worry loosened into quiet smiles. For the first time since the fever outbreak, Mary laughed softly at something Jacob said. Emma leaned against Bella's shoulder, finally looking like a child instead of a survivor. Tucker watched it all with thoughtful eyes. Then he turned to Bella. "Tell me what the council didn't want to hear," he said gently. So she did. She told him about families torn apart, about young hearts breaking fast and deep, about how the children woke up crying in the night and found comfort only in each other, how the council saw numbers and cost, but she saw 6 reasons to fight. The whole time Tucker didn't interrupt. When she finally stopped talking, he leaned forward, forearms on the table. "What time does this train come?" "Afternoon," Bella answered. "A few hours." Tucker nodded once, firm. "Then we go now." Bella blinked. "To the council?" "That's right, and I'll be standing next to you." She felt her breath catch. No one had stood next to her in weeks. Not once. Not since the fever stole the children's parents and the town began blaming her for caring too much. They walked straight to the town hall. The children kept close, gripping Bella's skirt in each other's hands as they entered the whitewashed building. Mayor Wilcott looked up with a frown. "Miss Thorne, I assumed you'd be preparing the children for departure." Bella lifted her chin, trying to keep her voice calm. "I won't send them away." "You won't have a job," Wilcott warned. Before Bella could answer, Tucker stepped forward. The room shifted. No one ignored a man like him. Tall, solid, steady as Wyoming stone. "Mayor," Tucker said, "I'm here on their behalf." Wilcott blinked. "Mr. Calloway, this is a private matter." Tucker's voice stayed calm, but it carried enough weight to pin the room in silence. "I'm making it my matter." He explained his ranch, his land, his resources, his willingness to support the children and provide what Bella could not alone. Councilman Peters scoffed. "And where is the propriety in this? A single woman cannot raise 6 children, It's not decent. Not proper. Then she won't be alone, Tucker said simply. The room went still. Bella stared at him. Even the children stopped fidgeting. Tucker turned toward her slowly, not breaking eye contact. If Miss Thorne is willing, we can raise them together. I'll handle the costs. The ranch has room for all of them. And her. As partners. Gasps rippled from the council members. Bella's breath caught in her throat. Partnership? With a man she met only hours ago. But Tucker didn't look reckless. He looked sure. Steady, as if he had already imagined this life and believed in it with his whole heart. Councilman Reed, the kinder one, cleared his throat. And legally? I'll sign guardianship papers, Tucker said. We'll do everything proper. You won't pay a cent. Mayor Wilcott tapped his desk, irritated but cornered. You understand the responsibility, Mr. Calloway? 6 children and a schoolteacher tied to your name? Tucker's voice was steady. I do. And you, Miss Thorne? Wilcott asked sharply. Are you agreeing to this arrangement? The room spun. Bella's heart raced. She looked at the children, Mary gripping her sister's hand, Jacob holding back tears he didn't want to show, little Emma clutching Bella's skirt. Bella swallowed. Yes. The word felt like a lifeline thrown across a storm. Wilcott sighed heavily. Very well, we'll reconsider our decision. You have 1 week to file proper papers. The children may stay. The children gasped in relief. Jacob wrapped his arms around Tucker's waist. You saved us, sir. Tucker smiled and ruffled his hair. No, partner. Miss Thorne did. I just helped a little. Bella's throat tightened at his humility. They walked out of town hall to cheers and hugs from the children. The air felt lighter, full of hope, but Tucker wasn't finished yet. Come with me, he said, leading them toward a wagon. To where? Bella asked. To show you something important. The ride took them west, past rolling hills and creeks glinting in the afternoon sun. The ranch rose up from the valley like a promise. Wide fields, strong fences, a sturdy main house polished by years of weather, but still standing proud. This, Tucker said softly, is the Diamond T. The children stared in awe. Barns, horses, a creek, space to breathe, space to grow, space to heal. Bella felt her breath catch. It's beautiful, she whispered. Tucker didn't look at the ranch. He looked at her. It's yours too, if you want it. Not someday, not maybe. Today, we can start planning together. Bella couldn't speak. Her heart felt too full. The children ran ahead, laughing for the first time in weeks. Bella stayed still on the porch beside Tucker. You changed everything, she said. No, Tucker replied quietly. You did. I just refused to let you do it alone. The sun dipped low, turning the valley gold. The Diamond T glowed like a new beginning. And in that moment, for the first time since the fever outbreak began, Bella believed everything might turn out right. What happens when a promise turns into a family? That question stayed in Bella's heart as summer settled over the Diamond T Ranch, painting the valley with warm light and long shadows. Life fell into a rhythm so natural it felt as though it had always been this way. Bella taught lessons in the mornings. Tucker worked the ranch, with the boys following him like puppy dogs. The girls helped Bella with meals and garden chores. In the evenings, they all gathered on the porch for stories or songs Hank played on his harmonica. The children began to smile again. They began to laugh again. They began to heal. And slowly, Bella and Tucker grew closer too. Not with grand words or dramatic gestures, but in quiet ways. The way he made sure she had her tea, just the way she liked it. The way she patched his shirts without him asking. The way their eyes found each other at the end of every long day. Still, Bella never expected the moment that came late one night after the 4th of July celebration in town. The fireworks had ended. The children were already fast asleep in their hotel room. Tucker waited in the hallway, hat in hand, a softness in his eyes she had never seen before. "Would you join me for a walk?" he asked. She nodded, heart thudding. They strolled down the quiet street until they reached the small church park. Lantern light flickered through the trees. The night air was warm. The world felt still, as if waiting. Tucker guided her to a bench. "Bella," he began, his voice low and honest, "I need to tell you something important." She held her breath. "These last weeks," he said, "watching you with the children, building this home together, it's made me happier than I ever expected to be. You've brought life to that ranch, to me, to all of us." Bella felt her eyes sting. Tucker gently took her hand. "I care for you," he said, "more than I planned, more than I meant to, more than I can keep quiet any longer." Her heart trembled. "I care for you too," she whispered. Relief washed over his face. "Bella," he said, steady and sure, "would you make this arrangement real? Would you marry me? Not because of the council, not because of the children, but because I want to build a life with you." Her breath caught. There were no doubts, no fears, no second thoughts. "Yes," she said, her voice soft but certain. "Yes, Tucker Calloway, I'll marry you." His smile lit the night. He lifted her hand, kissed her knuckles, then asked quietly, "May I kiss you?" She didn't answer with words. She leaned in. Their first kiss was gentle, warm, full of promise, like the beginning of something steady and lasting. When they returned to the hotel, Bella felt like her heart was glowing. The next morning, they told the children, "Does this mean we're really a family?" Mary asked, eyes wide. Bella nodded. "If you want us to be." Jacob puffed out his chest. "I knew it. I told Tom you liked each other." The room erupted in cheers. Emma climbed into Bella's lap. "Do we get cake?" "Of course," Tucker laughed. "The biggest in Wyoming." The weeks that followed were full of joy and work. The ranch bustled with wedding preparations. Neighbors brought bolts of fabric, jars of preserves, fresh-cut flowers. The children practiced walking down the aisle in the yard, taking turns scattering pebbles when they ran out of petals. When the day arrived, the sky was bright and clear. The ceremony took place under the cottonwood tree beside the house, its branches swaying softly in the summer breeze. Bella wore a simple ivory dress. Tucker waited for her with pride in his eyes. Jacob carried the rings. Mary and Sarah scattered wildflowers. Tom, Peter, and Emma stood proudly at their sides. "You may kiss your bride," the preacher declared. Tucker did, and the children whooped with joy. That night was full of dancing, laughter, and music. Bella watched the children spin with the ranch hands. She watched Tucker thank every neighbor. She watched the setting sun turn the valley gold. Later, as the house grew quiet and the children fell asleep in their rooms, Tucker wrapped his arm around her waist. "Mrs. Calloway," he whispered against her temple, "you've given me more than I ever dreamed." Bella rested her cheek on his shoulder. "And you've given me a home," she said, "and a family." Years passed. The Diamond T became known as the happiest ranch in the valley. Jacob grew strong and steady, working by Tucker's side. Mary's garden became so famous that people traveled miles just to buy her plants. Sarah grew into a gentle teacher like Bella. Emma drew everything she saw, her sketches filling the house walls. Tom and Peter found their talents too. The family grew again when Bella and Tucker welcomed more children of their own. The house overflowed with life, noise, and love. On their 10th anniversary, with the sun setting behind the mountains, Bella and Tucker stood on the porch watching their children laugh and argue and spill dishes and sing songs inside. "Ever think how it all started?" Bella asked softly. "A fever, a schoolhouse, 6 scared children, and one brave woman who refused to let them be sent away," Tucker said, "and one cowboy who said, 'Then let's raise them together,'" quote. Tucker smiled and wrapped his arms around her. "Best words I ever said." "Best words I ever heard," Bella whispered back. The house glowed warm behind them. The valley stretched wide and safe ahead of them. Their family, built from loss, courage, and unexpected love, had become a blessing no one could measure, and Bella knew without question. This was exactly where she was meant to be.